Next is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter, text number 15, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on September 13th, 1976, in Vrindaban, India.
Mata Sishumunam Nidhanam Sutana Nishamma Ghoram Paridapumana Kada Dugada Bastu Kolaru Kulaksi Tang Santayam Aha Kiritamali. So Draupadi's 5 sons were killed. 5 sons by 5 husbands. You know the history of Draupadi. She had 5 husbands, which is forbidden nowadays. Although in some hilly districts, still the system is current that one woman has got 5 or 6 husbands. This practice was there even in high circles. That is now forbidden. Devarena sutatpatti kalau pancha vivarjayat. Don't try to imitate Draupadi. That is not allowed in this age. Aswamedam gavanamam parapaitikam devarena sutatpatti kalau pancha vivarjayat. So when Draupadi was gained by Arjuna, the 5 Pandavas were in the forest, incognito. So when they came to their mother in jubilation, they exclaimed, "Mother, we have got a very nice jewel." So mother said, "All right, my dear sons, enjoy it for all of you 5. So on the order of mother, they accepted Draupadi as a common wife. But that does not mean she had many sons, only 5 sons. By the 5 husbands, 1 son. That is also under system, not competition, that each husband will produce dozens of children. No. So, when the mother understood that her sons were killed, certainly she was very, very unhappy. Mata Sishunam Nidhanam Sutana Nishamma Ghoram Parikappamana, lamenting. That is natural. Tada Rudot Basko Kolakulaksi, with tears, just crying, and Tang Santayam pacifying, Aha Kiritamali. Kiritamali is Arjuna. So, they are directly connected with Krishna. Draupadi's another name is Krishna. And still, they had to suffer the material pangs. Not that because one is Krishna conscious, there will be no material suffering. Actually, those who are Krishna conscious, they have no material suffering. Although it appears that they are suffering. They are not suffering. they can accept any so-called suffering and accept it as mercy of Krishna. They never take it as suffering. Tattena kampa susamiksamana bhunjana evatmakritam vipa. A devotee, when he is in suffering, so-called suffering, he accepts it as the mercy of Krishna. Tattena kampa. And he rather thanks Krishna that I had to suffer many more times, but you have minimized it, giving me little suffering. So it is your mercy. And if anyone lives on that attitude, everything taken as Krishna's mercy, then he is guaranteed to go back home, back to God. Mukti padesha dayabhak. Dayabhak means he is going back to home, back to Godhead, is exactly like the inheritance of property by the son. Mukti padesha dayabhak. So we should learn from the Pandavas that Krishna was always present with them. Still they had to suffer so much material tribulations. So they were never unhappy. Neither they requested Krishna that, my dear friend Krishna, you are always with us. Still we had to suffer. Never expressed that. That is pure devotion. Never try to take any benefit from Krishna. Simply try to give benefit to Krishna. Do not take any benefit from Krishna. This is pure devotion. Perhaps you know that once upon a time Rupa Goswami desired that if I would get some nice foodstuff, I would have invited Sanatana Goswami and cook some nice food. He desired like. They are living in Vrindaban here and there under the shade of a tree. They had no stock, nothing. So one very beautiful girl came and offered rice, dal, ghee. She said, Baba, we have got some festival. In this country, they address saintly person as Baba. So, she offered so many things, and he immediately invited Sanatana Goswami. They are living separately. And Rupa Goswami was a very good cook also. So he prepared very nice preparation and offered to Sanatana Goswami prasadam. So Sanatana Goswami astonishingly inquired, where you got all these nice things in this forest? So he told the whole story that in the morning I desired just a few little time, one very beautiful girl came and offered these ingredients. So after hearing the description of the beautiful girl, Sanatana Goswami could understand that she was Radharani. So immediately he chastised Rupa Goswami that you have taken service from Radharani. This is not good. We are trying to give service to Radharani and you have taken service from Radharani. So this is Vaishnava consideration. They are firmly determined not to bother Krishna with anything, simply to serve. Anukulyena Krishnanasana. Similarly, Krishna also finds opportunity when to serve his devotee. This is the reciprocation. The devotee wants to serve Krishna without any return. And Krishna also wants to serve devotee whenever there is opportunity. This is the transaction of love. Not to take anything in return. Aslishama padaratam kinastama manmahatam karotama adarsana yatha tatha va vidadhatu lampato mat prananathas. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching that from Krishna's side he may do whatever he likes. That is full surrender. Still he is my master. He is nobody else. He is still my worshipable master. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung, Manasa deha geha jo kichu moro otpinu tua pade Nanda Kishore. Nanda Kishore is Krishna. So, this is full surrender. My dear Nanda Kishore, whatever I have got, now I am offering everything to you. Oh, what I have got? Manasa deho geho. I have got my body, I have got my mind, and a so-called home, or a wife, or a few children, what I have got. So everything is offered to you. Manasa deho geho jo kichu moro. This is full surrender. Now he says, Maravi rakhavi jai chakwa. I am surrendering to you everything. Now, if you like, you can save me, or if you like, you can kill me. This is full surrender. So these Pandavas are the best example, and better than the Pandavas, there are other devotees, and the topmost surrendered devotee are the gopis. There is no more higher exalted devotees than the gopis. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommended that the gopis, Rammakachit upasana brajavadhu varga bhija kal. There is no better type of worshipping Krishna than the method by which gopis worship Krishna. Their love was so intense that they did not care for any family, any honor, or any prestige, nothing. That is the highest, topmost loving state of Krishna. And Krishna also loved the gopis so much so that Krishna asked them that you cannot expect any return from me for your ecstatic love. I cannot. It is beyond my power. So they purchased Krishna. And the topmost gopi is Radha. So we should not consider these gopis' dealings with Krishna as ordinary material dealings. It is not that. Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavitabhi sabhi eva nijadupatayatara. The gopis are expansion of Krishna's pleasure potential. That is described by Srila Jiva Goswami. Radha Krishna pranaya vikiti alladini shakti asma. Alladini shakti. Krishna has got the pleasure potential. Parasa shakti vividayoshyate. He has got multi-energies. In the Vishnu Purana it is also said, Parasya Brahmana Shakti Sadvedam Akhilam Jagat. Whatever we see, that is display of the potencies, different potencies of the Supreme Personality of God. Just like the sun is 93 millions of miles away from this earthly planet, still we are getting heat and light, energy of the sun. Golokaiva nivasati akhilatma bhuta. That is Krishna's energy. Although he is in the Goloka planet, which is the topmost planet in the spiritual world, you cannot estimate how far the spiritual world is from this material world. From material calculation, they say it takes about some 40,000 of years to go to the limit of this universe. Then beyond that universe there is the spiritual world, para tasmat tu bhava anna, another nature, bhaktya sanatana. Then you pass through the spiritual world, Brahma Jyoti. There are innumerable, unlimited number of Vaikuntha planets. Then above all of them, there is the planet Golok Vrindaban, where Krishna resides. It is said in the Brahma Samhita, Golokanamni nijadhamni tale chatasya. Golokanamni nijadham. That is Krishna's personal planet, Golok Vrindavan. Golokanamni nijadhamni tale chatasya. Devi Mahesha Haridhama Sute Suteshu. There are other planetary systems, Haridhama, Vaikuntha Dham. Then this material world is called Devi Dham. And between the Goloka, between the spiritual world and material world, there is Goloka Namni Dham Nitale Tasya Devi Mahesha Dham. So there are so many status of planetary system. Each planet is full with living entities. The spiritual planets, they are full of living entities. They are all liberated, nitya mukta. And those who are within these material world planets, they are nitya baddha. Nitya baddha, nitya mukta. There are two kinds of living entities. The nitya baddhas are only few. But the nitya muktas are many, many. This material world is only 1/4 energy of the creation. The 3/4 energy is in the spiritual world. And here, in the 1/4 energy, there are innumerable universes. And each universe is full with different types of planets. And each planet is full of living entities. But these rascals, they say, there is no living entity, it is sand and rock. This is not the fact. You have to understand from the Vedic literature about the planets, which planet is existing, where is spiritual world, where is material world. All informations are there. Don't speculate and simply think that this planet is full of living entities, all other planets are vacant. This is most unusual argument. There is no meaning. But we are not concerned with that. We have got our own information from the Vedas. So Krishna's pastimes is going on. Somewhere or elsewhere it is going on. Therefore his pastimes are called Nitya Lila. Nitya Lila Prakash. This Vrindaban Lila is Nitya Lila. It is going on continuously, somewhere or other, within this material world. And the spiritual world, it is permanently there. So the Pandavas, they are associates of the Nitya Lila. They are not ordinary human beings. Wherever there is Krishna Lila, they go. Therefore Arjuna asked Krishna that how can I believe that you, first of all, many millions of years ago, you spoke this philosophy to the sun god. Krishna replied, Bahuni me janmani, what is that verse? Bahuni me betitani janmani tabacharvi. Arjuna, both you and me were together, and we have passed through many different leelas, but you have forgotten, I remember. That is the difference between God and the living entity. They cannot be equal. We forget, the Mayavadis philosopher, they put this argument that because we have forgotten, now in Maya we have forgotten that we are God. So what kind of God he is if he forgets? God never says, I have forgotten. Krishna says, Vedaham samiti nāti. I know past, present, future. So where is the question of forgetting? If somebody forgets, that God is different from the God who does not forget. Therefore you have to accept too. You immediately have to accept Dvaitava. One forgetting God and one not forgetting God. You cannot accept one, that is not possible. And that is the fact. Just like Krishna said, that I remember when I spoke to sun god, you have forgotten. So there are two. Similarly, Krishna's another name is Achyuta. He never falls down from his position. And if we fall down from the position, that we are not on the same level. We may have some power, and we can claim that I am God. That we can claim, but not that God, like Krishna. Therefore, two words are there. Ishvara, Parameshvara. The Brahma Samhita, that which is described, that Ishvaras there may be many, but not Parameshvara. Parameshvara is one. Ishvara, Parama, Krishna. So these Mayavadis, they forget this, that Ishvara, Parameshvara, there are two words. Atma and Paramatma, there are two words. So, they are not equal. And Krishna said, Matta Parataram Nanya. He is the supermost, Ishvara. Nitya Nityanam Chetana Chetananam. Although both of us are Nitya, eternal, and living entities, still there is difference. He is supreme, living entity, we are subordinate. Prabhu and Anu, Vibhu and Anu. This philosophy is perfect, and anyone who accepts this Mayavad philosophy, that the God and living entity are on the same level, they have got core fund of knowledge. Thank you very much.
The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 7th Chapter, text number 18, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on September 15th, 1976, in Vrindaban, India.
Kamapapantam savilaksadura kumaraho udvigna manarasena Paradhyavat prana paritutsu urva javad vamang rudra mayad yatharka. So here is one reference that Lord Brahma was pursued by Lord Shiva. When Brahma was running after his beautiful daughter, so similarly here Ashwatthama knew that Arjuna is coming to kill him, so he was running very swiftly from apatantam savilaksa dura. From distant place, when he saw that Arjuna was coming, so Dehatma Buddhi, this is the distinction between person in bodily concept of life and person who is liberated from the bodily concept of life. So, when Durvasa Muni cursed or wanted to kill what is the king? Amrish Maharaj. So Amrish Maharaj was a devotee. Unnecessarily he was harassed by Durvasa Muni, but because Amrish Maharaj was a pure devotee, advanced, he was not afraid of being killed. He was not afraid. There are many instances. There Prahlad Maharaj, he was attempted to be killed by his father so many times, but he was never afraid, although he was 5 years old boy, but he was not afraid. So that is the distinction between an advanced devotee and ordinary man. Dhirastatta namuyati. Death means changing of the body. So there is nothing to be very much afraid of. But one is afraid of death because at the time of death, the tribulation, the miserable condition of the body is very, very severe. So much severe that one cannot remain. He has to give up his body. Just like sometimes out of disappointment, too much suffering, one commits suicide, death. So death means very, very painful. As much as birth is also very much painful. Therefore, Krishna presents Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darsana. One who is intelligent enough, he should always keep before him the sufferings of birth, death, old age and disease. In front. You can side. birth, death, old age, they are very suffering condition. But if one is advanced devotee, he is not afraid of. Narayana parasadve na kutaschana bibhati. Narayana para is never afraid of. Death is coming, that's all right. What is wrong there? Provided he knows that after giving up this body, I am going to Krishna. Dhira sattana mayati. He is dhira. One who is dhira, he is not afraid of. So we have to become dhira. Then we shall not be afraid of death. Unless we have dhira, there are two classes of men, dhira and adhira. Dhira means one is not disturbed even though there is cause of disturbances. One may not be disturbed when there is no cause of disturbances. That's why we are not now, at the present moment, we are not afraid of that. But as soon as we find there is earthquake and we are afraid of this building may fall down, the cause of disturbances, then we become very much disturbed, sometimes screaming. So, one who is not disturbed, even there is cause of disturbance, he is called dhira. Dhira sattvanamaya. This is the statement of Bhagavad Gita. We have to become dhira from adhira. But this Krishna consciousness movement is so nice that adhira can be dhira. This is the profit of this movement. Krishna kirtana gana nattana paro premamritamani dhira dhira. Krishna kirtana gana nattana paro premamritamani dhira dhira janapriya. This Krishna consciousness movement is pleasing to both the classes of men, namely the dhira and the adhira. It is so nice. Dhira dhira janapriyo priyakaro ninmasaro pujita. This was introduced by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and followed by the sixth Goswami, Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghujigo Sri Jiva Gopal. So, this is the moment how to make a adhira dhira. Everyone is adhira who does not, who is not afraid of death, who is not afraid of course, that were too much agnostic, they forget. But there is suffering, we can see how one suffering at the time of death. There are some men dying. Nowadays it has become a very common coma. One is lying in the bed for weeks, 2 weeks, crying. The life is not going. Those who are very, very sinful. So, there is great pain at the time of death. There is great pain at the time of birth, and there is pain when you are diseased, and there are so many pains when you are old. The body is not strong. We suffer in so many ways, especially rheumatism and indigestion, then blood pressure, headache, so many things. Therefore, one should be trained up how to become dhira. These things, disturbances, make us adhira, and we should be trained up dhira. That is spiritual education. One has to know it. Matra sparsasya kauntiya sitasna sukha dukkada. These sufferings, matra sparsa, tarmatra, on account of the senses, sense perception, we suffer. And these senses are made of material nature. So one has to become above the material nature, then he can become dhira. Otherwise, one has to remain adhira. Dhira dhira jana priyo priya karo. So, Ashwathama became very much disturbed. Tam apatantam sa vilaksha dura. Kumara, from Hanan, killing. So he is described here not as Ashwathama, Kumara, one who killed the 5 boys of Draupadi, Kumaras. Boys are called Kumara. Prahlad Maharaj said, Kaumara. Kaumaro acharit prajna dharman bhagavatani. From the childhood, because here Kumara they were innocent boys, they were killed. So we do not know whether I am a Kumar or I am an old man. There is no certainty of death. Any moment death can take place. Not that I am now Kumara, I can play. When I shall become old man, I shall chant Hare Krishna. This is not a very good policy. Prahlad Maharaj says, no, immediately. Kumaro acharit prajna dharman bhagavata. Therefore, the children, those who are actually dhira, Vaishnava, they should give education to the children. What education? Not this so-called technical education or smoking education, drinking education, and so many rascal education. This is not education. Education means Bhagavad education. To understand God. That is what. Athāta Brahma Jigyan. Education should be given in such a way that the student should be very, very inquisitive. Inquisitive. What about? Inquisitive about Brahma, not about this body. The body is matter. And the spirit soul is Brahma. Athāta Brahma Jigyasa. This is human life. One should be inquisitive to know about spiritual life. What is spirit soul? That is the first education. But where is that education? There is no such education. Prahlad Maharaj teaches that immediately, from the beginning of life, as soon as one is 4 or 5 years old, he should be educated about Brahma. That is called Brahma Jigyasa, beginning. That is wanted. And for him, there is need of Guru, one who is inquisitive or serious about inquiring about Brahma. He requires Guru. Guru is not a fashion. Guru is necessity. Tad-vijnanatham guru-meva vigache. Tad-vijnana. Tad-vijnana means spiritual education. For material education, there is no need of Guru. You keep, Guru of course required, but Guru means to inquire about spiritual subject matter. Tasmad Gurum Prapaddeta Jigyashu Shreya Uttamam. Uttamam. Uttamam means Udgata Tamam Jasmat. Tamam means darkness. This world is darkness. Everyone will know that this material world is dark. And because it is dark, there is need of the sunshine, there is need of the moonshine, there is need of electricity, there is need of fire, because it is constitutionally dark. And the Vedic injunction is, tamasima, don't remain in darkness. Jyoti gama, go to the light. And our Chaitanya Charitamrita, Kaviraj Goswami, he gives what is that light. Krishna Sujja Sama Hoy Maya Andhakar, Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Rodhika. That light is Krishna. And anything which is not Krishna, Krishna is everything, but to make a general division, Maya, that is Andhakar. So we should not remain in Maya. We should remain always in Krishna consciousness. Then our life is success. Otherwise, we shall continue the life of darkness. Uttama, Udgata. Tama, darkness. You have to pass over this darkness. Padanga doesn't be Padang. Here in the darkness, just like in the darkness, if you walk, in every step there is danger. Every step there is. Padanga doesn't be Padang. If you don't want to avoid this dangerous life in darkness, then you must keep to Krishna consciousness. Krishna Surya Sama, Hoy Maya Andhakar. Maya is Andhakar. Jaha Krishna Taha Nahi Maya Radhika. The Surya, as soon as there is sunshine, the darkness automatically goes. So if you keep Krishna always in view, in your brain, in your heart, Sabai Mana Krishna Padaravinda. If you simply keep Krishna within the heart, Manmana Bhavamad Bhakta, Krishna says, Manmana Bhavamad Bhakta, then your life is saved. Otherwise, in the darkness, there is always danger, in every step. Padanga jada vipulam, samasita ji padapallavam pravam, mahat padang punna jaso murari, bhavam buddhi vassa padang parama padang jada vipulam nati. This is the version of Srimad Bhagavatam. Take shelter of Krishna, samasita ji padapallavam pravam, padapallavam. Lotus feet of Krishna, Jasu Murari. Murari is Krishna. One who has taken shelter of the lotus feet, which is compared with a boat, Brahma. Then he has nothing to fear from this material ocean of darkness. And this place, this material world, which is darkness, and where there is danger, step by step, padanga jada vipada, not Isam. Isam, for them, it is not for them. It is for the persons who want to remain in the darkness. And one who does not want to remain in darkness, for him, tasmāt gurum prapaddita, he has to take shelter of the bona fide guru. If you are serious about not remaining in darkness, as it is said in the Vedas, tamasi ma jyotirgama, if you take this instruction of Vedas, Vedic instruction you have to take, otherwise you will suffer. That is Veda. Why Veda is there? To give you intelligence. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Anadi Bohidmog Jeev Krishna bhuli gela, Ataev Krishna Veda Purana Korila. This rascal, Anadi Bohidmog Jeev, bereft of Krishna consciousness, Jeev, they do not know when they have forgotten Krishna. Anadi. Anadi means even before creation. Before creation. Long period. So Anadi Bahidmuk Jeev, Krishna bhuli gela. Ataya Krishna Veda Purana. What is the meaning of this Vedas and Purana? To remind us about Krishna. So, how will you understand Vedas and Puranas? Tasmāt gurum prapaddita. You have to go to the Guru. Why? Jigyasu says, if you want to know the real life, then you have to go. Jigyasu says uttamam. Then what is the sign, what is the symptom of such Guru, where I shall get real information? That is also stated. Jigyasu uttamam sabde parecha nisnatam. One who is fully aware of the transcendental science or word, Sabda Brahma. Sabda Brahma means Vedic literature. One is completely in awareness of Vedic knowledge. Sabdi Parecha Nisnatam. Nisnatam means one has taken a dip in the ocean of this Vedic literature. Nisnatam. And what is the result? Sabdi Parecha Nisna Brahmani Upasamasrayam. The Supreme Brahma, Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagavan, Brahmani, either of them. But Bhagavan is the best. Or, if you cannot approach Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality Godhead, Brahma is also. Because if one is in Brahma, he has a chance to make further progress. But Kali Yuga, it is very difficult to go very slow. Therefore, Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the Shastras, they are giving directly in touch with Krishna. Thank you very much.
The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, First Canto, 7th Chapter, text number 19, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on September 16th, 1976, in Vrindaban, India.
Sada sadanam atmanam oikhata santavajinam astram brahma shiromeni atmatranam didātmaja. So, this Didātmaja, son of a Brahman, is not addressed as a Brahman because his actions are different. Unless one acts as a Brahmin, he is not accepted as a Brahmin. This is the Vedic system. Lakshanam, jat lakshanam proktam varnabhi vanjakam jadi annatraiva pashreta tattenaiva vinidise. Lakshanam, Brahmanas Lakshanam, Kshatriyas Lakshanam. Lakshanam means symptoms. One must act as a Brahman. So, he is accepted as a Brahma. Of course, everyone can claim that his father is like that. But that does not mean he has acquired the father's qualification. That is not the meaning. And onward the son may claim that such and such big man is my father. Of course, from social point of view, we sometimes give respect, as it will be seen, Ashwatthama, because he happened to be a great personality, Dronacharya. So, he was excused from capital punishment. Otherwise, Arjuna decided to kill him. But because he was a very great man's son, Guru Putra, considering that if he dies, then Guru's wife will be very much unhappy. Draupadi advised. She was unhappy on account of death of her sons. So they considered that Ashwatthama's mother, she is innocent, but on account of the son's death, she would be unhappy. So considering all these points, he was excused from the capital punishment. So, jada asaranam atmanam vaikhata. He was running on the back of a horse, but when he saw that Arjuna is coming nearer, so he has no other alternative protection, then he thought of the Brahmastra. Brahmastra is the last weapon. Just like it is similar to modern nuclear weapon. Brahmastra. As by releasing nuclear weapon there is a radiation. Similarly, we have got description that when Ashwatthama released his Brahmastra, there was a big radiation. People were feeling very terrible heat, and then Krishna informed that this heat is due to the Ashwatthama's release of Brahmastra, and Arjuna was advised to counteract it. Now they do not know how to counteract this nuclear weapon. Formerly, they knew, I throw one kind of weapon, and if you are expert, you can counteract it. Now, they have discovered the nuclear weapon, but they have not yet discovered the counteraction. Fight means I saw some expert fighting craft or expediency. The opposite party must also show something better than that. That was fighting. And in this way, when one party fails, he is killed. And if he steals, then war stops, no more war. This was the system. So Ashwatthama was thinking of this Brahmastra. Astrang Brahmachira Mene Atmatranam Didatmaja. Hopelessly. So far, of course, I know that this nuclear weapon was already discovered by the German people, and Hitler, it is said that he did not use it because he knew it, that if I throw this nuclear weapon, there will be devastation. So, from this point, it can be considered that he has some human consideration. So, he is advertised very adversely, but if it is a true fact, then how he could have this human consideration that he did not throw the nuclear weapon, and this was taken by the Americans, and it was thrown in Japan. That is the history so far we know. So anyway, as we have got experience, the nuclear weapon is very, very dangerous. Similarly, the Brahmastra is also very, very dangerous, and another weapon, they knew this art. Sabdabhedi. Sabdabhedi means if I throw some arrow, it will go to my enemy, wherever he is. A little sound of the enemy will attract this weapon, and it is sure to kill my enemy. Sabdabhedi. There are many instances in Ramayana, Mahabharata, Sabdabhedi Baan. So, such warfare, a mantra, very subtle. And this, at the present moment, this warfare is carried on gross weapons. But finer than that, there is mantra war. By mantras, the warfare can go on. So, this warfare is mantra. That is just like Indriyani pararahu, Indriyabha paramana. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita that the Indriyani, so far our body is concerned, the Indriyas, the senses are prominent. But more important than the senses, above the senses, is the mind. Indriyani pararahu, indriyabha paramana. So, as we have discovered so many weapons, that is gross, to be handled by the senses. Even this nuclear weapon, it is handled by the scientists, but it is not by mantra. That science is still to be discovered by the modern scientists. How to, for this kind, this mantra, a snake charming mantra still there are. You are dealing the snake poison with some counter medicine. This is one kind of treatment, but there is another kind of treatment that is called mantra, by chanting mantra, or by herbs, he can counteract snake bite. still there are in India. Therefore Chanakya Pandit said that mantrau sadivasa sarpa. Sarpa means snake. It can be brought under control by mantra and herbs. Still in our Mayapur, some Mahavajans, they know how to use these herbs and mantra for treating snake bite. In Mayapur, there are many snakes, and occasionally snake bite cases are there, but they treat it. And mantra has got power. It has been seen by many medical men in Lucknow. That's a long story. So mantra is power. This is mundane. Now you can imagine how spiritual mantra is power. Even in mundane world, the mantra acts. This is very subtle thing. And how much? Because Indriyani pararahu, indriyabba paramana, manasastu paro buddhi, buddhi tuja paro. So, gross understanding, the senses, the body, directly sense perception, this is gross. I see you, you see me. I touch you, you touch me. I taste something, this is gross. Above this gross, there is mental platform. The mantra is also on the mental, little above, intelligence. And above that, there is spiritual platform. See, if on the material platform, mental platform, the mantra can act so wonderfully, how much spiritually the mantra can benefit you? You have to simply imagine. So this Hare Krishna mantra is completely spiritual. If you chant it spiritually, enlightened, then surely it will act. Parang Vijayati Sri Krishna Sankirtana. It will act. Therefore, chanting is so important. Chanting is not, Narottam Thakur said, this sound vibration is not this material sound. Krishna, it is not material sound. It is Krishna, spiritual. Avinnatyad namanamina. There is no difference between Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and His holy name Krishna. There is no difference. Nama Chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta, Avinnatyad namanamina. As Krishna is Purna, perfect, complete, Shuddha, without any material contamination. Purna Shuddha, Nitya, Etana. Purna Shuddha, Nitya, Mukta. Mukta means not of this material one. Mukti means anything which does not belong to in this material one. That is called Mukti. So, the holy name, chanting of the holy name, if we act it properly, without any offense, then we are directly in connection with Krishna. There is no doubt. Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta Avinnatyad Namana. And Narottam Thakur therefore says that this holy name of Krishna is imported from Goloka. It is not material sound. Golokero premo dhana harinama sankirtana. It is not ordinary sound. Don't take it as ordinary. Sabda samana buddhi parinami. That is naraki buddhi. It's like to consider the deity as made of stone. Atte Vishnu Siladhi, Guru Su Naramati. To consider Guru as ordinary human being. Similarly, to think Sabda Samana Buddhi, the holy name of the Lord as ordinary sound vibration. That is naraki. That is not considered by spiritually enlightened persons, but those who are rotting in Hades conditions, for them these are the concerns. Now, patthar pooj ke hari mile. They think that they are worshipping patthar. The last says, patthar pooj ke hari mile, to mai puje pahar. They think, see, such a rascal is thinking that the deity is patthar or stone. But it is not like that. It requires good brain to understand how Krishna can appear in a form which can be seen by us, how Krishna can appear in a form of sound which we can hear. It is for our benefit, not that it is material. Therefore, Narottam Thakur said, Golokera prema dhana harinama sankirtan. Harinama sankirtan is not ordinary sound. Don't treat it as ordinary sound. So, don't think that this harinama sankirtan is ordinary vibration of this material world. Never think so. You should immediately receive that the Sankirtan, Hare Krishna, is Krishna and Radha. Hara and Krishna. Radha Krishna, or Sitara, or Lakshmi Narayan, any form of the Lord, Vishnu. The Hare Krishna means the Supreme Lord and His spiritual potency. So we address Hare, the energy, spiritual energy of the Lord, and Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Hare, Rama, the same thing, Parabrahma. Rama means Parabrahma, Krishna means Parabrahma. And so what is the meaning of addressing He Krishna, He Rama, He Rama, He Krishna? Why? That should be some, why you are asking? That just engage me in your service. That is taught by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ai nanda tanuja patitam kinkaragama bhisame bhavam kripaya tava pada pankaja sthita dhuli sadhijam. This is our prayer. It is not our prayer that, O Krishna, O Rama, give me some money, give me some woman. No, this is not the prayer. Of course, in the neophyte state, they can pray like that, but that is not, Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotion. Pure devotion means to pray to the Lord, begging some service. My Lord, kindly engage me in your service. That is the perfection of life. When one is engaged in the service of the Lord, in love, you can become a very great saint and live in a secluded place and become puffed up that you have become very great personality. And people may come to sing that he is not to be seen, he is engaged in chanting. The my Guru Maharaj has condemned this. He says Man tumi kisere Vaishnava. My dear mind, your mental concoction, you are thinking that you have become a very big Vaishnava. You do not do anything and sit down in a secluded place and imitating Haridas Thakur, chanting. So you are a nonsense. Man tumi kisere Vaishnava. Why? Na nirjanero ghare pratistharo kore. To give some cheap adoration is a great chance. Because if one is actually chanting, why he should be attracted by woman and bidi? If he is actually in such position, like Haridas Thakur, then why should we be attracted by material things? That is a false soul. That is not possible for ordinary person. Therefore, ordinary person must be physically engaged. That is not physical, that is also transcendental. Always busy in some business of Krishna consciousness. That is what. Thank you very much.
Next is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 7th Chapter, text number 20 and 21. Given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on September 17, 1976, in Vrindaban, India.
Sprishya salilam sangdadhi tat samahita ajanan nabhisangharam pranatucha upasthite pratopadustitanga teja prachandam sarvatudisam pranapadam avipeksha vishnu jishnu rubasa. So, necessity has no law. This Brahmavanda, he knew how to create this Brahmastra, he learned it, but he knew it also that this weapon is not to be used and generally. In very, very rare cases, this should be used. As I explained, that atomic bomb, the nuclear weapon, is not used when there is a fight between two dogs. It is not so insignificant. When the fight is very severe, just like your country used this nuclear bomb, when the Japanese people dared to attack your Pearl Harbor. At that time your president was Mr. Truman. It was not to be used, but he took little more precaution. Anyway, such weapon, deadly weapon, should not be used ordinarily. Therefore, here it is said that pranakritsam upasthite. He knew that Arjuna was after him and there is no escape. He would be killed. So whatever last resort he knew, he used that knowledge to throw Brahmastra so that the other party may be killed altogether. But ajanan api sanghara. He was not willing, but he did not know how to withdraw that. Formerly they used to know it. They could throw one Brahmastra and if he likes can withdraw, or the other party can nullify. This is warfare. But he did not know that. How to counteract it, he did not know that. Another point is here, this mantra weapon is so strong that it can be manufactured simply by touching water with mantra. Just like we take mantra, Abo Vitra Vavitra Vasarvavastan Vato Viva Dasmare Pundarika Sava. The same process. Do not think that it is some ritualistic external. No, it has got meaning. If you can chant the mantra properly, if you follow the rules and you must be expert in chanting mantra. Hare Krishna mantra we are chanting, and Haridas Thakur is also chanting. Haridas Thakur, how advanced he was, just imagine, he was a young man and a very nice, beautiful prostitute came there at dead of night, wanted to enjoy his company, and he said simply, very good idea, please sit down, let me finish my Hare Krishna. Is it possible for ordinary man? No, it is not possible. That means you are expert, you are advanced. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has advised, Yaha hoite sarva siddhi hoive tama. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, simply by chanting you will get all success of life. Sarva siddhi. It is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's blessing. Yaha hoite sarva siddhi hoive tama. By simply chanting, one gets the highest perfection. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's blessing and gift. So we should be very careful and follow the regulatory principles. Then automatically he will be perfect. There is no doubt about it. Mantra, that's like sometimes the snake charming mantra can be purchased in the market. But if you do not make yourself perfect about chanting the mantra, it will not be effective. I'll give you one practical instance. It is not a story, it is a fact. It was spoken, perhaps some of you know that my friend who came here, Dr. Ghosh, he told me when they were students, there was a case in Lucknow University, they were students. So there is a big building and 2-3 snake biting case happened. So some snake charmer was invited to find out the snake and take it. So he came. He came and took it away, the snake. Then this Dr. Ghosh and his class friends, they are medical students. Naturally, the so-called modern scientists, they do not believe in all these things. So they become very inquisitive. All of them went to that snake charmer. He was a Mohammedan gentleman. So he knew that these students, medical students, they have come to see the fun, how these snakes are charmed. And so he inquired, what is the matter? What is the magic that you can catch up snakes and the snake cannot do any harm to you. They say, yes, it is possible. By mantra. By mantra it can be done. So they challenge, oh, your snakes, I think they are poisonless and they cannot bite, there is no poison, the poison teeth, the tongue is taken out. No, they have got everything. So he took one and showed that here is. So to make a fun, he had many snakes. He let them all come out from the box. And immediately, all over the courtyard, just like courtyard, they began to run over. And all these medical students, they became afraid. They were fleeing this side, that side, that side. So the charmer said, don't be afraid. So long I am here, they will not bite. So this was spoken by Dr. Ghosh, a personal experience. The mantra has got so much power. But not that you purchase the mantra and chant, that is not. You have to make it perfect. There is process how to become perfect in chanting the mantra. Similarly, it is an ordinary material mantra. This is a spiritual mantra. I have already explained, this Hare Krishna mantra is spiritual mantra, it is not material. Therefore, I have already explained, Golokera Premadhana Harinama Samti. It is not ordinary sound vibration, material sound, radio, no. The spiritual, Golokera Premadhana. If we actually chant this Hare Krishna mantra properly, without any offense, then once chanting is sufficient to make you free from the reaction of all sinful life. Once chant. There is no question of chanting 1,000 times. It is said, Eka Hari Name Jato Pap Hare, Papi Hoye Tato Pap Koribare Nare. Once chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, I can melt with so much accumulated fraction of sinful life, that a first-class papi, or a very expert papi, he cannot commit so many paps. He is so fast. So if we chant it properly, the chanting Dasavida, 10 offenses, without offenses, Namaparad, or Sunnam, without any Namaparad, if we chant according to the principle, then the mantra will act. Mantra will act and so nicely that the mantra will keep you always in touch with the Supreme Personality of God. That is the power of mantra. Don't think it is a hobby or it is something superfluous. No. Actually, this mantra, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna himself. So if you are allowed to keep yourself constantly in company with Krishna, then just imagine what is your position. If you keep yourself always near the fire, certainly you shall remain warm. There will be no attack of cold or anything like that. So, if we constantly chant Hare Krishna mantra, then we are not in this material world. But if we purposefully again come to the material world, that independence we have got. But if we chant Hare Krishna mantra according to the instruction, Sankha Purvakanamagananativi. We have to practice because Goswamis, they kept a number, a numerical strength. Haridas Thakur kept the biggest. Others they also kept, but not so big. But because just like Rupa Goswami, he had to write so many books, so he was not keeping such a big number as 3 lakh. But there was some numerical. Similarly, we must have some numerical strength, and we have minimized. I know that you are coming from different source. So according to time, according to circumstances, in that there is no limit. You can chant more than 1600 times. There is no. But practically we see that even chanting 16 down becomes difficult. So don't try to imitate, but do it properly, what is advised by your spiritual master, without any offense. That mantra will save you from the dangers of Maya. That's a fact. You see, he manufactures this deadly weapon. It is material. Still, it is so deadly weapon, Brahmastra. He is not working in a laboratory, finding out so many chemicals to make a atomic nuclear weapon. Simply water. You see, here it is said. Atho upasprisya salilam. Just like we do. Namo bhavitra bhavitra vasa bhavasam. And if we do it properly, then it has got immense potency. Immense potency. Don't think it is childish. It is formality. No. Let's see here. Atho upasprisya salilam sangdheta samahita. This is what is samahita. Completely entranced. So this is the process. These things are required. How to become samahita, samadhista, entranced. If we take it as childish play, formality, that it will act, but it will take long time. But if you do it properly, you will be quickly successful. In one life, you will be successful. You don't require to wait. My Guru Maharaj used to say that although this process is guaranteed, but don't wait for another life. Finish this business in this life. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita, even though one falls immaturity, then yoga bhrasta suchinam simatangi yoga bhrasta sanjayati. One who has not been successful, one is fallen from this bhakti yoga. For him also there is guarantee, nice. That guarantee, Krishna says, that Suchinam Simatangi Yoga Bhrasta Sanjaya. Suchinam. Then he is given the chance of taking birth in a very pious Brahmin family. Not ordinary. Suchinam. Suchi means Brahman. And Srimatam. Sri means fortune. And Mat means one possesses fortune. That means very rich man. Srimatange yoga bhrasta sanjayate. Even yoga bhrasta. Therefore, Narad Muni has said in the Srimad Bhagavatam Tattva sadanmam charanambujam hari bhajanna pakkhota patettato jadi oba bhadra abhut amusvatim. This verse is very important. He says that if one takes sentimental, this Krishna consciousness movement, tattva sadanmam, just like in our Krishna consciousness movement, you young men, young boys and girls are coming. He had some engagement previously, undoubtedly. Maybe you are a student, you may be a businessman or so on, everyone has some, at least he has some business for LSD. So, he has given a call. Tattva sadanmam. Somehow or other, you are all engaged in some business. That is called sadhana. Sadhana means one has selected some business, that is his sadhana. Generally, if it is systematic, then sadhana means Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. This is systematic, sadhana. Otherwise, everyone must have some engagement. Suppose a thief, he has taken the occupation or profession of stealing. That is also sadhana. But that is not systematic, that is whimsical. So anyone must have some engagement. That engagement is called sadhana, his own business, occupation. Sakarma or sadhana. So, if by chance somebody comes attracted by this Krishna consciousness movement and gives us his profession, a good profession or bad profession. And there is no good profession in this material world, everything is bad. That is, here we have divided, this is good, this is bad, this is mental concoction, it has no value. Because material world is bad. I have given this example many times, just like stool, the upside and downside. Downside is moist and upside is dry. If somebody says, this side is very nice, what is it not? It is stool. What do you forget? The dry side is good and moist side is bad, but it is true, this side or that side. Similarly, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has said, Dvaite bhadra bhadra sakali sama. Ei bhalo, ei manda, sab mano dharma. Dvaite, in the material world, Dvaite, Bhadra Bhadra. This is good, this is bad. It is all mental concept. After it is material world, either you become very expert in handling this material affairs, very big businessman, Mr. Ford, Mr. this and that, or so many things. What is the meaning of this? Successful answer. You have to die. You have to suffer from disease. Just like nowadays the flu is going on. Does it mean that a big man or a rich man will not suffer? When the disease is there, either you are big man or rich man or poor man or small man, everyone has to suffer. So long you will be in the material world. If you do not rectify yourself, Shuddham Satya, Tapo Dibbam Jino, Shuddheta Satya, if you don't rectify your existence, then this Dharma Mrityu Draupadi will go on. Then what is the good? Actually there is no good. Ei bhalo, ei mondo, sab manoda. It is simply mental concoction. So, in the material world, even if you become very expert to deal with your business very nicely, it is all useless. Kovatriyatva bhajatang sadharma. If one does not become Krishna conscious, his so-called success in this material world or failure, they have no value. Rather, if by sentiment somebody comes to Krishna consciousness, and if for a few days he chants Hare Krishna mantra, their success in future at least guaranteed. Thank you very much.
The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th Canto, 2nd Chapter, text number 11, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on September 13th, 1975, in Vrindaban, India.
Nishkutairuditai brahmavadivi tatha visuddhatai avavan amritadivi jatha harennama padai rudahitai tat uttama sloka gunopalambham. So, the Vishnu Dutas, they are instructing the Jamadutas. Now they are authorized person. This Vishnu Duta, they are authorized person. They are not ordinary person. They are coming from Vaikuntha. Just like Narada Muni comes from higher planetary system, Vaikuntha Loka. He is called Devarishi. He travels all over the universes, material and spiritual. He has got special concessions. Sometimes, sometimes we have got information, the yogis, they can also travel not only within this material universe, but in the spiritual. The instance of Durvasa Muni, when he committed offense at the feet of Maharaj Ambarish. Maharaj Ambarish was a grihastha, a kshatriya, and king. He had to rule over the kingdom. But because he was devotee, he was very respectful. So Durvasa Muni, he was a great yogi. He became very much envious of this king, Ambarish Maharaj. That he is ordinary grihastha dealing with politics, and I am a great yogi known all over the universe, and he is more respected than me. So he wanted to punish him, to show him his yogic power. Sometimes the yogis, they get some power and they misuse it for personal sense gratification. That is the pitfall of yogic perfection. When one gets little power, he misuses it and thereby falls down. So this Durvasa Muni also, what to speak of others, paltry yogis, even Durvasa Muni, he became angry. So one day he came to Ambarish Maharaj on the Dadashi day with 60,000 disciples and ordered the Maharaj, today we have come to take a prasadam in your palace, please arrange for me. So, that was Dadashi day. You know, on the Dadashi day, there is a regulatory principle that in the morning, at about 9 o'clock, one has to take something, prasadam, to break the house, breakfast. So, this Durvasa Muni, along with disciples, they went to the river Ganges to take bath, but they were willfully not coming back. So, Amrish Maharaj asked the priest that Durvasa Muni is my guest. I cannot take anything without offering him. So what shall I do? Now I have to observe the Dadashi breakfast. So the Brahmin priest ordered him that, Maharaj, you can take little charanamrita, the water. So according to Shastra, drinking little water is not breaking fast. So it will be not taken. So with the advice of the Brahmin, formerly the kings, they were guided by the instruction of the Brahmins and great saintly persons. They were not doing anything whimsical. That is not bad. So, with the instruction of the Brahmins, he took little charanamrita. And Durvasa Muni was a great yogi. He could immediately understand. Then he came back and became very angry. His idea was to punish him somewhere or other. Give the dog bad name and hang it. This was his policy. So he was to give some bad name. So he became angry that I am your guest and you have already broken your Ekadashi fasting, so I shall teach you. So he immediately ordered, he plucked one here and a great demon came. So Durvasa Muni made his caricature of yogic power, and Amrish Maharaj was a devotee. He did not know anything such magic. He was pure devotee, that's all. So he could simply stand, all right, I am faulty, you can punish me. So the great demon was coming to kill him, and the devotee has no other way than to remember Krishna. So immediately Krishna Sudarshan Chakra came to protect him, and the Sudarshan Chakra immediately killed the demon. Then the Sudarshan Chakra attacked Durvasa Muni. So Durvasa Muni began to flee. He went upper planetary system to Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and this way he wanted protection, but nobody could give protection. They said, no, we cannot give you protection. Lord Vishnu is angry upon you. It is not possible to give you protection. So he then went to Lord Vishnu also in the Vaikuntha Lok. Let's see how much powerful he is, that he could go through the whole universe, then enter into the spiritual world, Vaikuntha Loka, and he could see personally a Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu also denied protection. No, I cannot give you protection. You are Vaishnava Aparadhi. You have offended to the Vaishnava Maharaj or Muri. You can be protected only if you go and fall down at his feet, and if he excuses, then my Sudarshan Chakra will not disturb. So, this incident, this Durvasa Muni penetrated through the universe, went to the Vaikuntha Loka, personally saw Vishnu, still he was not protected, and this time took about 1 year. The yogic power, my point was how yogis are powerful, that they can go through the space very swiftly. The modern scientists, they say that to go to the topmost planet within this universe, it will take 40,000 of years. That is a calculation. But this yogi, Durvasa, could go through the universe, not only universe, other Vaikuntha, so within 1 year. This is called yogic power. But still, he is not as powerful as the devotee. He had to come back and fall down at the lotus feet of Amrit Maharaj. And when Amrit Maharaj excused him, he was a Brahmin yogi, as soon as he fell down at the feet of Amrit Maharaj, he said, you are Durvasa Muni, you are so great powerful, don't put me into this difficulty. What do you want? Now you excuse me. Excuse. If I have got any resultant action of my past activity, take everything. Take everything. He said, this is Vaishnava. And this is our Vaishnava. Therefore, Rava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahad Guna. If one may have all the good qualities, but if he is not a devotee of the Lord, his good quality has no value. Haram bhaktasya kuto mahaduna manorathena asato dhavato hi. They are simply carried away by the mental concourse. This is their qualification. So Karmi, Jnani, Yogi, they are all restless. Because they are carried away by the whims of mind. And a bhakta is fixed down. Bhajate ma anannabha sadhuriva samadja. Mahatmanastu mang partha daivi prakriti vasi. Bhajanti anannavansha. This is devotee. They do not like to show any power. Power is already there, just see. This Amrit Maharaj was not a yogi. He did not know. He was simply surrendered, fully surrendered to Krishna. That's all. But he defeated this yogi. The yogi came and fell down at his feet. So, a devotee does not require to acquire any yogic power or any jnana siddhi or this siddhi. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakoli Asanta Krishna Bhakta Niskam Ataev Shanti. People are after Shanti, peacefulness. So it is declared that nobody can get Shanti, peacefulness, unless he is unalloyed devotee of Krishna. Annavilasita sunnam jnanakarma dhanamrita anukullena krishnanutilanam bhakti uttama. This is what. If you have got a pinch of annavilas, then you cannot become a pure devotee. That is not possible. Then Krishna will give you chance to fulfill your annavilas, not Krishna bhakti. He can give you even mukti, but he will not give you bhakti. This is Krishna's principle. Bhakti can be awarded to a person who is fully surrendered, one who does not know anything but Krishna. This is the way. Therefore, it is said, na nishkutai ruditai brahmavadibhi statha visuddhati abhavan vritadibhi. In the Shastras, there are different varieties of ritualistic ceremonies, vratas, to counteract our sinful activities within this material world. The material world is so situated that if you do not want to become a sinful man, unless you are devotee, you will be forced to commit sinful activities. You will be forced. Just like you are very good man, but when walking on the street, you are killing so many ants. We have got experience while morning walk. You cannot avoid it. It is not possible. And you are responsible for killing the ant. Then how you can save yourself from the sinful activities? Therefore in the Shastra it is said, padanga padanga jada vipadam. Padanga padanga jada vipadam. If you want to stay within this material world, then padanga padanga. In every state there is danger. Padanga padanga jada vipadam. Natesam. Not for them. Who? Samasita ji padapallavam plavam mahat padam punna jasumurari. One who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of Murari, means Krishna, samasita, sammakasita, sarvadharman parittajya mamekam, samma, fully, samma means samma. No reservation. Krishna, I do not know anything more. I simply surrender unto you. Now, whatever you do, accept it. If you like to kill me, kill me. If you want to give me protection, that's all. Anyway, I am surrendered. This is called full surrender. So, the Bhakti Marga, it is clearly said it is, that you cannot be purified simply by performing the Vedic ritualistic ceremony. Na nishkitoi ruditoi brahmavadini. Brahmavadi means, Brahma means Sabda Brahma, Vedic injunction. So there are many brahmavadi, just like Manu Samhita, Parashar, he has made Vinsati, Dharma Shastra. So they are authorized things, but still, if you follow the ritualistic ceremonies, if you make atonement according to the Vedic direction, you cannot be fully purified. Fully purified because unless you are detestful of this material existence, unless you are determined to go back to home, back to Godhead, if you want to adjust in this material world to be happy, then you have to commit sinful activities. There is no doubt. Therefore it is said that you cannot be purified. Non-iskitai ruditai brahmavadihi statha vishuddhati abhavan vritadvi. Abhavan means sinful. Every one of us who is in this material world is sinful. So he has to purify. So this best purification process is devotional service. And the purification process begins annavilasita sunnam, when you have no more any material desire. Then is the purification. Sarvapādhi vinimuttam tatparatena nirmalam. Nirmalam. Malam means sinful reaction. And nirmal. If you want to become completely free from all contamination of this material world, Contamination means associating with the different modes of material nature. Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. Even if you are associating with Satagun, still it is contamination. What to speak of other, Rajagun, Tamagun. Those who are contaminated by Rajagun and Tamagun, they are fully engaged in lusty desires and greediness. Tada rajastamo bhava kamalo bhavayasta jeev. Kama lobha, rajastama, the whole world is infected with rajagun and tamagun. Therefore, they are simply absorbed in kama and lobha, lusty desires and greediness. Not that only the poor man is hankering after money. Even the richest man in this material world, he is also hankering. Low, I want more, I want. Krishna is assuring that yoga khemam vaham, tesham nittari diktana yoga khemam vaham. If one is fully surrendered, I supply him personally, I carry his personal necessities. Yoga khemam vahami. Not that I ask somebody, but I carry myself. He is giving assurance. Why we should be hankering after other things to become happy? It is foolishness. Krishna assures, tesham nitya vijuktanam yoga khemam vaham. So, this is the special mercy for the unallied devotee. So unallied devotee means anna vilasita sannam sarvapadhi vinirmuktam. Sarva upadhi vinirmuktam. Upadhi means artificial. I am the husband of this wife. I am the father of these children. I am the inhabitants of America. I am American. I am Hindu. I am Muslim. I am Christian. I am Brahmin. I am fat. I am thin. I am white. I am black. So many. These are all upadhis. So one has to become free from this upadhi. Thank you.
Next is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th Canto, 2nd Chapter, text number 13, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on September 15th, 1975, in Vrindaban, India.
Athainam ma apanayata pita shesha aghanishkitam jadosho bhagavan nama niyamana samagruhi. The most important word here is niyamana samagruhi. Ordinarily, there are discrimination of nama, namabhas, and namapara. Suddhana, pure name, namabhas, almost pure, and namapara. Chanting the holy name is apara. There are 10 kinds of offenses. Out of the 10 kinds of offenses, the most offensive chanting is Namnal Bala Jasari Papavu. One aparadhi is Guru Avagya. If he neglect the orders of Guru and chant Hare Krishna, then it is aparadhi, offense. Guru Avagya Shruti Shastra Nindanam. The Vedic literature whatever injunction is there, if I don't obey, or I decry, there are so many rules, it is not possible. Suti Hasani, Rame Arthava, we interpret in our own way about the Nama. And to consider the holy name of Vishnu, another name equally potent, that is Nama. Namna bola jasahi papabuddhi. And because one is chanting Hare Krishna, he thinks even if I do something sinful, it will be counteracted. That is aparadha. And to instruct a person who has no interest in Hare Kirtan, that is also aparadha. So we should not be very much interested to preach Krishna consciousness if one is not very much interested. But tactfully, if you can, just try to give him a book. In this way, there are 10 kinds of offences we have discussed many times, and I think you all of you know it. So, here it is said, Mriyamana Samagrahi. Because at the time of death he has uttered Narayana. So now there is no question of offense. There is no question of offense. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita that Dishantu Antavatam Pam, by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, one gradually become free from all sinful reactions. Jisham Tuam. Sridhanamahanim Muktam Bhajanti Mahangri. And the true peace, as it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Antukalitu Mameva Smaran Mukta Kalevaram Jab Prayati Samadbhavam Jati Nastatra Samsaya. If at the time of death one can chant Hare Krishna, then he is glorious. Nastatra samsaya. Here is clearly said in the Bhagavad Gita, Nastatra. Antakal, at the time of, as several times said, the taste will be examined at the time of death. They say in Bengal, bhajan karo, pujan karo, morte janle hoy. Your austerity, penances, chanting of the holy names, all these things, just like there is the examination before promotion to the higher class, one is examined in the school, and if the marks are sufficient, then he is promoted. So, our promotion will depend at the time of death, where we are going. Tatha dehantara prapti, we are going to change our, death means we are going to change our body. This change of body will be decided at the time of death. It is already decided what kind of body you are going to get, but the final decision will be taken at the time of death. That is said by Krishna. So how it is, everyone can understand, if at the time of death one chants Hare Krishna, then you know certainly that he has gone to Guru. There is no doubt about it. Antakal. And even there is aparadha, that is not taken into consideration. Because at the time of death, he has uttered. This is special consideration. Antakale. Here it is said, Jadasau Bhagavan Nama
mriyamano samagrahi. Sama means samma, perfectly. Now he is quite fit for going back to home. So you do not touch him. He is completely free. So if we are serious about our life, the method is very easy. The prescription is manmana bhavamal bhakta madhyani manamasti. Very difficult. We are not serious. Chant Hare Krishna and hear Hare Krishna, then mind is fixed up. Sabai mana Krishna padara vindayo. Our business is to fix up my mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. So this Krishna, Hare Krishna chanting will help us. As soon as we chant, we hear. It is not that simply by seeing Krishna you become perfect. By hearing Krishna, this is also another sense. We gather knowledge from different senses. Suppose there is a good mango. So, when you say, let me see how the mango is, but you are seeing. No, this seeing is imperfect. You take little portion of the mango and taste it, then you can understand. So experience is gathered from different senses. Why you are giving stress only on seeing? This is foolishness. It's like you can, even if you do not taste, the mango seller may not allow you to taste, but you can smell. By smelling, you can understand whether the mango is good or bad. After all, you have to get experience. So, why you should stress upon seeing Krishna? That is the most foolish proposal. You have other senses. Krishna is prepared to be perceived by you by other senses. What is that? If you hear Krishna, then you must know there is Krishna. There is Krishna. Krishna is not different from his name, from his form. Either form or name or quality or paraphernalia, anything, he is absolute. There is no duality. Anything you perceive, there is Krishna. This Krishna temple is also Krishna. So, we have no sufficient knowledge how to understand Krishna. Krishna is prepared to be understood by us in so many ways. So, the Kali Yuga, therefore, name is so important. Kalu nasti vanasti vanasti Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama. This formula should be seriously taken. Pita Sesha Agha Nishita. Asesha, unlimited amount or unlimited number of sinful activities are already finished. So the Jamaduta forbid them, they don't touch him. He is not fit for going to Jamalok, but he is fit for going to Vishnu Lok. Bhagavan Nama Niyama. The most important thing is how to become successful at the time of death. Chant Hare Krishna. This will be there. Bhagavan Nama Niyama. That will be the perfection of life. Then they explain, Sankirtan Purihasangva Subhang Hiranam Evava Vaikuntha Nama Gahanam Asisa Agaharam Vidu. Sankirtan. Just like sometimes on the streets, some outsider seeing you, they chant Hare Krishna, only by the symbolic Sankirtan, because they see that the tilak, kanthi, therefore these things are required. Don't become immediately Paramahamsa. No tilak, no kanthi, and no beating again, beat band. This is not good. Sankirtan, so that others may understand here is a Vaishnava, here is a Krishna devotee, and if he is simple, he will chant Hare Krishna. This chant should be given. Therefore it is necessary. How people can utter, that chanting may save him from the greatest danger. Therefore it says Sankirtan. Parihasyam is somebody's joke. Sometimes they do that. Hare Krishna, but he is not seriously chanting, but he is trying to joke the other party who is engaged in chanting. And that is also Parihas. During Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, the Muslims, they used to joke the Hindus, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, the practice made them chanting Hare Krishna. And the police officer was informed by the constable that these Hindus are chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. The police officer asked him, then why you are chanting Hare Krishna? By imitating, they become practiced to chant Hare Krishna. It is so nice. Even joking, symbolic, Sankirtan Parihasa, Sobham, or praying, Hiranameva, without any care, Hare Krishna. Anyway, if you chant Hare Krishna, then Vaikunthanama Granam, Asesa Avaram, Ava means sinful activity. So nice thing, Hare Krishna movement, Rama Radha, if we can take it very seriously, then our life will be successful. At the end of life, if we can chant. Therefore Jamunacharya says, not Jamunacharya, Kuloseka Maharaj, he was our emperor. Krishna tadiya padapankaja panjanantam taddaiva visatu me manasaraja hamsa prana prayana samaye kahuvatu chisto kantavarodhana vibho smaranam kutaste. He is praying, my Lord, now I am healthy, I am quite conscious. So, this time, if I absorb my mind in your lotus feet and die, it is very good. It is very good. Because in the natural time of death, the three elements, kapapatu, will be dismantled and there will be different sounds and mind will be distracted, brain will be falling. So, hardly there is possibility of chanting your holy name. The best thing is, now I am feeling healthy, my whole system, physical system is quite fit, let me chant and die. This is desire of the devotee. So we should keep ourselves. Krishna is also very kind. If you chant seriously without offense, in the mental condition at the time of his disorder, Krishna is helping how to chant without knowledge. So he must be, the only qualification is that we must be very sincere. Even by symbolic chanting, by joking, if one can get the benefit, why not do it carefully? Why not do it carefully? What is wrong? Be serious and chant Hare Krishna very carefully in order to get success and rise at the time of death. Thank you very much.
The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th Canto, 2nd Chapter, text number 14, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on September 17th, 1975, in Vrindaban, India.
Sankirtan, indication. Sankirtan parihasangva sumang helanamevava Vaikunthanamagrahanam asesa agaharam vidu. Everyone should know vidu. Generally, you do not know what is the power of Vaikuntha Nam. Nam Namakari, Bodhanuja Sattva Shakti, Tatrapita, Niyamita Smaranena Kala. Etadasi Tabakripa Bhagavan Mamati, Duddhaiva Idisumeha, Janinananda. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regretted that the holy name of Krishna is so powerful that all the potencies or all the energies in the absolute person, the same thing you will find in his name, in his form. But these things are not understood by less intelligent class of men. To understand these things means to know Krishna in truth. Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschit jadati siddhaye jadatam siddhanam kaschit vettimam tattva. This is tattva, truth. That Krishna, the Supreme Person, His holy name, His form, His attributes, His pastimes, His paraphernalia, His dhamma, just like we are in Vrindaban dham. So why Vrindavan dhama is worshipped? Because the Vrindavan dhama is not different from Krishna. When you take a little dust of Vrindavan dham and take it, that means you are taking the dust of Krishna's lotus feet and take it. Vrindavan dham, so important. The Vrindavan dham, ordinary man cannot see. Therefore Narottam Thakur says, Rupo Raghunato Pade হইবে আকুতি কবে হাম বুঝব সেই যুগল পীড়িত বিষয় ছাড়িয়া কবে শুদ্ধ হবে মন কবে হাম হে রব শ্রী বৃন্দাবন Vrindaban, if you come from anywhere by the train and rail or aeroplane and see Vrindaban, that is not seeing Vrindaban. Vrindaban seeing means Vishaya chhariya kabe shuddha hobe mon. Kabe ham he rava Sri Vrindaban. When he shall be free from Vishaya. Vishaya means ahara nidra bhaya maithuna. So who can give up Vishaya unless he is a great devotee? Others cannot. Vishaya, it is very difficult. But
If one is advanced devotee, parang drishtya nivartate, they can give up. If you come to Vrindaban and arrange for a Vishaya Bhog, ahara nidra bhayamaitum, then Vrindaban is far away. Vishaya Chari. The whole Krishna consciousness movement is on the basis of Vishaya Charya. And Sri Lotandas Thakur also sings, Vishaya Charya Sera Se Majiya Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari. Vishaya Charya. Of course, in the beginning it is not possible, but the ultimate goal of life is to give up Vishaya. No more ahara nidra bhayamaitum. That is called Vishaya Charya. That's why Raghunath Das Goswami did. He came here, lived in Vrindaban. He was a very, very rich man's son. 500 years ago, his father's income was 12 lakhs of rupees. Now it may be crores of rupees. 500 years, he was such a rich man's son. And very beautiful wife. Because Raghunath Das Goswami was restless, he was always trying to go with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So his father and uncle, he was the only son of his two brothers. So they thought that this boy is very restless, he wants to go away with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let him have a very nice, beautiful wife, and he went. But he was not attracted. He was not even going inside the house. He was lying down outside the young man. He has no taste for Vishaya. Vishaya child. Therefore, later on, he became Raghunath Das Goswami. Normally he was simply Raghunath, and when he joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then he became Raghunath Das Goswami. So, he was eating, he was living in Radha Kunda, or Vrindavan. He was eating every alternate days a little butter. That's all. Ahara nidra bhayamaitu. Nidra ahara viharatadi vijito. This is. The more you have become free from nidra, means sleeping, ahara, eating, and vihara, sex, and nidra ahara viharatadi. And so far, bhaya, a devotee is not fearful of anything. Narayana parasabde na kutasya na vidhati. Sargapu varga narakeshu api tullatha darshana. A devotee is not interested whether he is going to hell or heaven. Everything is for him. He knows hell is also kingdom of God, and heaven is also kingdom of God. There, a devotee's kingdom of God means where he gets the chance of serving the Lord, that is what. So, Sankirtan, therefore, in the Hindu family, they keep the name of the children with the God's name. Just like this Ajamil, although he was a very, very sinful man, still, because the culture was there, he kept his son's name Narayan. He did not lose the culture, although he was so much sinful. The culture is so important. Still, in India, as there is very, very good propaganda to make the people godless, atheists, still you see, find in Vrindaban, thousands and lakhs of people are coming. It is a birthright. Not only in Vrindaban, we have seen wherever we held that Hare Krishna festival, thousands of men were coming. Even the so-called educated, when we held that ceremony in Delhi, LIC ground, many secretaries, officers, they came and they were dancing with their hat coat pants. So it is so nice. But somewhere or other, if you be in touch with this Hare Krishna movement, then your life is successful. Sanketam. You keep your children's name, just like he kept Narayana. He actually became delivered because he kept his son's name Narayana. Sanketyam. Parihasam. Joking. Sometimes they joke. These people are chanting Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. They joke also. Hare Krishna, sometimes seriously, sometimes joking. So, joking, they're chanting Hare Krishna, that is taken to their credit. Although he is joking. He is not serious. Sankirtan parihasam stuvang. Sometimes we make fun to complete one sentence. Sometimes we Hare Krishna, we add it. That is also accepted. And then, Kiraname Baba. Kiraname Baba. Just like sometimes in the Western countries there is propaganda, as it was in Germany. Now they are going in Japan. These Hare Krishna people are very bad. But he is chanting Hare Krishna. While saying that Hare Krishna people are very bad, but the Hare Krishna is chanting, the Hiranami. And that is going to their credit. Although they are going to say, just like Ram Chor Nahe, and somebody heard, Nahe, not Ram Chor. Ram Chor, but because he uttered the name Rama, even if he says Ram Chor, you get it. Sometimes they joke, Krishna is Makhan Chor. So he is accusing Chor, but because he is chanting Krishna, he is getting it. So somewhere or other, jena tena prakarena, mana Krishna nivesaya. This is the problem. Somehow or other, you engage your mind in Krishna. Jena tena prakarena. Now without any regulative principle, yes, sarve vidhi nisedastu retayo eva kinkara. If you somewhere or other think of Krishna, then the vidhi nised, regulative principle and forbidden things. It's like we have got our regulative principle that chant Hare Krishna mantra at least 16 rounds. This is called vidhi. And nised, don't have illicit sex, don't eat meat, don't have intoxication, don't indulge in gambling. These are nised. The sarve vidhi nisedastu retayo eva. As soon as you go on chanting the holy name of the Lord, vidhi, 16 rounds, this nisedha will automatically follow. Dasyasti bhakti bhagavati apunchana sarvai gunai tattva samasati sura. This is the process. Sinnatan sakatha Krishna punya savana kirtana riddhan tatha avadrani vidhunati suhisata. This is the process. Somehow or other, jena tena prakarena, you think of Krishna, you chant Krishna's name. You just offer your obeisances, This temple is here, there are many temples. What is the process? Process is somebody comes here, he immediately think of Krishna. By saying Krishna's deity and Krishna is not different. So even if he thinks that it is some stone deity, but Krishna's stone deity, therefore Krishna, he said, that is it. Somehow or other is chanting Krishna. Krishna's Balaram is very nice in this temple. So that Krishna and seeing Krishna, thinking of Krishna, chanting Krishna, Manmana Bhavamad Bhakta, Madhyaji, and if you worship Krishna, offer arati, bhog, decorate with flowers, Sri Vigrahara Dhananittanana, Sringaratanaman Viramad, even you wash this temple, you get the benefit. Somehow or other, be in touch with this temple, with the holy name, with the Vaishnava, in this way, by constant association, Sangha Sanjayate Kama. By the association of devotees, you become a Krishna devotee. Actually it is happening. In your country, the Europeans and Americans, say 10 years before the beginning of this movement, you did not know Krishna. Every one of you, that's a fact. How you are now mad after Krishna? It is simply because of association. The association is so important. You boys and girls in your country, you are so luxuriously living. Why you have left everything and you are after a beggar sannyas? It is the association. The association is so strong. Therefore Narottam Das Thakur says, Tadero charana sevi bhakta sane ba. Janame janame mor ei abhiraj. Let me engage myself in the service of the Goswamis and associate with the devotees. I do not want anything. Janame janame mor ei abhiraj. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Kita janama ho jatha tua das. This association. Let me become an worm, not a devotee. Even worm. Kita means what? Insignificant. Ant. What? Better to remain as an ant with the association of devotees than to become a Brahma without any devotee association. Brahma janme nahi mora. Bohirmukh Brahma janme nahi mora. Kita janma ho jatha tuadas. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's anchoring. So, somewhere or other, we are propagating this association. Krishna consciousness, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Why? Why you are establishing so many centers? Just to give the people in general the chance of association. It is very important. Association. Sangha sanjayate kama. So, either kama or lobha or bhaya or enviousness, somewhere or other, connect with Krishna. Just as the gopis. The gopis, they like Krishna. They did not know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. They did not. They like Krishna. He was a very funny boy, young boy, very beautiful. And these girls were attracted. They went to Katyayani. Mother Katyayani, please give Krishna as our husband. Their only prayer was that. They did not go to Katyayani for begging Dhanam Dehi, Rupam Dehi, Yasho Dehi. No. Give me Krishna. Give me Krishna. So, there is no harm. to worship the deity, I mean to say other demigod. But that is not possible for anyone. That was possible only for the gopis, because they did not know anything except Krishna. Wherever they go, they want Krishna. But we worship demigods not for Krishna, for my sense gratification. Kamastasya hitagnyana jajanti annadevata. When we worship any other demigod, just like we worship Ganesh for Siddhi, Riddhi Siddhi. You'll find in mercantile shop, Namo Ganeshaya Namo Riddhi Siddhi Khuddhan. So similarly, we worship Goddess Durga for beautiful wife. These are prescribed in the Shastras, that if you want this, then you worship this deity. If you want this, then you worship this deity. So different worshippers of demigods, they are meant for satisfying the senses. But Krishna is not there. You cannot satisfy your senses by worshipping Krishna. That is not possible. Krishna is not order supply. My dear Krishna, please give me this and I shall worship you. Krishna does not accept such worship. Krishna said, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam. First of all, surrender to me. I am not your order supply. This is Krishna's worship. So those who are not taking Krishna as order supply, those who are accepting Krishna as order carrier, he will succeed and be with me.
Next is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th Canto, 2nd Chapter, text number 15, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on September 18th, 1975, in Vrindaban, India.
Skhalitu bhagana sandastasta pravahataha hariditta vasinaha pumana nadhasi jatana. These are some of the practical examples. There are persons who criticize chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. Nam Arthabhava, because the glories of the holy name are described here, that one can become free from the sinful reaction of life simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. So sometimes those who are not in the line, they think it is too much. It is too much. So, the next verse, it is advised, not it is too much, you can taste it. Taste it. What is that taste? Patita. When you fall down from a high place, suppose from the roof, you may fall down. Patitam. Skalita. You may sleep and fall down. Bhagna. By falling down, you may break your bones. Then sandasta. You may be bitten by some animal, cats, dogs, a snake. There are so many domestic. Then sapta, you may be burnt, and ahata, you may be injured from others. Then, during this time, you can taste, practical. What is that taste? Hari iti avasena aha. Try to chant Hare Krishna. Puman, if anyone does so, na arhati jatana, he will immediately feel that from the injuries, you are not feeling pain. This is practical. Even a snake bite, it may be said, the author says, never says that you may be saved from death, but the suggestion is that you may not feel much pain. This is practice. Because this material world is full of danger. These symptoms of dangerous position, patitang skhalito bhagna, especially in the modern age, in the Western country, motor accident and die is very common thing now. Here also it is becoming. On the whole, even there is no motor accident, there are so many accidents, and every step there is danger. Padam padam jad vipadam. This material world means every stage there is danger. There is no question of safety at any moment. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj recommended, Kumaram Asrit Pragma, Dharman Bhagavatam. Why? In the beginning of childhood, one should learn Bhagavad Dharma, and Durlabam Manasamyam. Somehow or other, we have got this body, human form of body, Durlabam, after many, many births. They do not know, the foolish person, they do not know what is the value of this human form of life. Jalajanam lakhani sabra lakhavinsati Himayo Rudra Sankata. In this way, 8,400,000 different forms of life we have to pass through. Then we have got this. Especially a civilized human being. The human race, there are also 400,000. 400,000 times. Out of them, those who are civilized, they are called Aryan. Aryan means civilized. Aryan means those who are making progress. They are called Aryans. Amongst the Aryans, there is the division. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha. The Aryans, they do follow the Vedic principle, Varnasam Dharma. Varnasam Acharvata, Purushena Parattuma, Vishnu Aradhate. What is the purpose of Varnasam? No, Vishnu Aradhana. Why Vishnu Aradhana? There are so many other demigods. That is also answered by Lord Shiva. When he was asked by Parvati, what is the best form of worship? He recommended Aradhananam Sarvesham. There are many different types of worship. Sarvesham. Vishnu Aradhanam Param. He never said, Lord Shiva, that my Aradhana is. Krishna said, Mamekam Saranam Bhaja. But no other demigods had ever said it. No. He never found. Yet Lord Shiva said, Vishnu Aradhanam Param. Then again he stresses, Tasmat Parataram Devi Madhyana Tadhyana Aradhanam. Vishnu Aradhanam is the best. But better than this best, there is another Aradhanam. What is that? Tadhyana Aradhanam. to worship Vaishnava. Vishnu Aradhana is the topmost, but Vaishnava Aradhana is still more. Narottam Das Thakur therefore says, Chariya Vaishnava Seva Nistar Keche Keva. The Vaishnava Aradhana is so important. Therefore Krishna said, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadakshanti tadgyanam jnanina tattvadarshina. Tattvadarshi, this word tattva is very important. Unless one is tattvadarshi, there is no use to take instruction from him. Useless, waste of time. Tattvadarshi means, Krishna says in another place, Manusyanam sahasreshu kasti jatati siddhaya. Siddhi means liberated, means who has no more the bodily concept of life. This is the Vedic meaning of aham brahmasmi. Aham, I, the spiritual spark. I am not this matter. I am a spirit soul. That is Brahma. So long we are in the bodily concept of life, that is called jiva bhuta, mamaivangsha, jiva bhuta, conditioned soul. And when one understands aham brahmasmi, that is called brahma bhuta. There are two words. The conditioned soul is called jiva bhuta. He is thinking, I am American, I am Indian, I am Brahman, I am Kshatriya, I am cat, I am dog, I am this, I am that. That is called jiva bhuta. And in the human form of life, when he studies athata brahma jigyasa, when he is inquisitive, to understand Brahma, spirit, that is real life. Jivasya tattva jigyasa. In the Srimad Bhagavatam it is said that dharmartha kam moksha. So, moksha means tattva jigyasa. Jivasya tattva jigyasa. Not just iha karma bhi. That tattva jigyasa means to understand Krishna. You will find in the Bhagavad Gita, Kaschid vetti mam tattva. He said, tattva jigyasa, who will inquire about tattva? Those who are siddha. So that siddha state, Brahma bhuta state, is not for everyone. Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschid jatati siddhaya. Out of many millions of persons, one may be interested how to become siddha, to understand aham brahmasmi. That is called siddha. And jatatam api siddhanam kaschid vettimam tattva. This is called tattva jigyasa. The tattva jigyasa is meant for the siddhas, not for the fools and rascals. They cannot. They are inquiring, kya bhav hai? You will find in the market, big merchants, they have got exchange in Calcutta, Bombay. The inquiry is kya bhav hai? And not that inquiry. Kya bhav hai? Is share ka kya bhav hai? Chawal ka kya bhav hai? Dal ka kya? Now that is not tattva jigyasa. Tattva jigyasa means what is Brahma? That is it. Because Vedas indicates that try to understand aham brahmasmi, you are Brahma. Tattvamasi, soham. So this is the Vedic injunction. The Vedic injunction, Tattva Jigyasa, that is the first aphorism in the Vedanta Sutra. Athata Brahma Jigyasa, the human form of life, is meant for inquiring about the absolute truth. Therefore, Bhagavad explained, Jivasya Tattva Jigyasa, that is the explanation of Brahma Sutra. Therefore you find at the end of each chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavate Mahapurane, Brahma Sutra Bhashya, the Srimad Bhagavatam is the real comment of Brahma Sutra, Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra was compiled by Vyasdev. He summarized all the Vedic knowledge. Summarized all Vedic knowledge into Brahma Sutra, in nutshell. Then he was not satisfied. Although he made so many Puranas, Mahabharata, Brahma Sutra, Upanishads, etc. But these were correct. He wrote into letters in the book, being compassionate on the people of this age, all fools and rascals, they have no good memory. Therefore, he compiled all these Vedas into writing. Before that, there was no writing. People were so sharp in memory. Simply by hearing from the Guru, they will remember. Simply. The education and the brain and the capacity was so nice. But that is not possible. In the age, everything is diminishing. The strength, bodily strength is diminishing. The memory is diminishing. The duration of life is diminishing. Man's propensity to be merciful is diminishing. At the present moment, even in the civilized world, so-called civilized, if one man is being killed on the open street, nobody will go and help him. Because the tendency for showing mercy to others, that is diminishing. The bodily strength is diminishing, memory is diminishing, dharma, the principle of religion, that is diminishing. This is calculated. Therefore, Brahma Jigyasa, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was questioned by Prakashananda Saraswati at Banaras, follower of Shankara philosophy, that there was a meeting between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like to meet the Mayavadi sannyasis. He used to live alone. But sometimes these Mayavadi sannyasis, they are criticizing him that this Bengali sannyasi come from Bengal, he does not indulge in reading Brahma Sutra, Vedanta Sutra. He dances and chants with some ecstatic people. What kind of sannyasi? A sannyasi is meant for studying Vedanta Sutra, Sankhya philosophy. Some of them are very learned scholars, there is no doubt about it. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was inquired by Prakashananda Saraswati, "Sir, I learned that in your previous life you was a learned scholar, you was known as Nimai Pandit. And you have taken sannyas, so instead of reading Sankhya philosophy and Vedanta Sutra, you are simply chanting and dancing with some fanatics. What is this?" This was the question. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied that, sir, if I reply your question candidly, please do not be sorry. No, I am not sorry, we are prepared. And because my Guru Maharaj saw me, I am the greatest fool. Guru Mare Murkha Dekhi. Kahila Vedante Nahi Tavo Adhikar. He became a fool. The purpose was that at the present moment, they are simply fools and rascals. What they will understand about Vedanta? Therefore, the Shastric injunction is Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama. So there was very long discussion, and all the sannyasis, 60,000 sannyasis, were convinced about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy, his explanation of the Upanishad. It is not that the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sampradaya is simply chanting and dancing. If required, they are prepared to answer all Vedic discussion. They are prepared. We have got so many books, all Vedic discussion. Not that we are simply but this is sufficient. Simply chanting is sufficient. But if one thinks like Utasana Saraswati, that these people simply chant and dance, sometimes one sannyasi accused that in Germany, that's Bharati. So, we answered that come on, we have got at least 75 books, 400 pages each, to teach you Krishna consciousness. Come on. We are prepared. It is not that. Chaitanya, we are the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was chanting and dancing. But when there was Prakasananda Saraswati, when there was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he discussed Vedanta very elaborately. Not with fools and rascals. A pandit like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, a sannyasi like Prakasananda Saraswati, who knew what is Vedanta, what is Vedas, then we are prepared. Because we know certainly. Krishna says, Vedashta Satvai Ahameva Vedam. If anyone understands Krishna, it is to be understood that he has studied all the Vedas. There is no doubt about it. Vedashta Satvai Ahameva Vedam. Bhaunam Janmanam Ante Jnanaman Mam Bhagattat. Vasudeva Sarvaniti Samahatma Sudurgava. So everything is explained there. We are preaching Krishna consciousness not with empty hand. We are prepared to talk on Vedanta, we are prepared to talk on Upanishad, and the conclusion is Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Iti Chamsa Kala Pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. This is the conclusion. Krishna also confirms that Matta Parataram Nanya Kinchi Asti Dhananya. Pranava, sometimes they take Pranava as the supreme. Krishna says, Pranava Aham Sarva Vedesu. This Pranava Ankar in all the Vedas, that is I. That is my sound representation. So, this holy name of Krishna is so powerful that simply by chanting one can become liberated. This is the blessing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, Iha hoite sarva siddhi hoive tama. All siddhis. Chetadapanamani. Siddhi means to cleanse the heart. That is siddhi. Because
We are now materially obsessed. We are thinking, I am Indian, I am American, I am this and that. All material, upadhi. And bhakti means when you are freed from the upadhi, then bhakti begins. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na sotati na kankati samas sarveshu bhuteshu bhakti lavati para. Then bhakti begins. Bhakti is not for the person who is not liberated. Because as soon as you begin bhakti, devotional service, you immediately come to the liberated platform. Thank you very much.